Good morning, ma'am. I am Jessie Macararo. So for today's video, my content is all about what I have learned from this module. So we already have three modules. So I will be starting from the very first module. So from in the first module, it highlights the conflict and consensus theory. So e-learning today is the mode of giving is the mode of giving lectures and instructions to students due to this pandemic. Teachers have to adjust with the new normal, so this conflict and consensus theory are both applied within the virtual classroom. As for example, in conflict theory, the teacher serves as the ruler and while the consensus theory, the learners are given freedom to discuss or give examples of what they have learned from the topic. Another highlight that I have that stayed in my mind is the structural functionalism and symbolic interactions between theories related to education. So structural functionalism believes that the society learns towards social equilibrium and social order. They see society like a human body in which institutions such as education are like important organs that keep the society or the body healthy and well. So as we all have known that education is one of the vital part of this society. It is because it is mo ni siya ang ato ang ginagamit para sa ato ang literacy. Kung wala ni siya, ang society nato is magdala siya og either kagubot or uban pa. Being educated is one of the key para mas makalesen ta sa mga societal problem. So for this module, that's all. So in the second module or the module 2, we are introduced to the different social philosophers, just like George Herbert Mead, the social self, Lev Vygotsky, the social cultural theory, and lastly Charles Cooley, or the self society, or he is known for the looking glass self. So the social self, the way we define who we are, is a direct result of what we know. In basic terms, the social self is defined as how an individual interacts with the social world presented to him, her, and how he or she approaches the formation of its relationship. Mental images of how I see myself play a big role also, such as physical appearance, accomplishments, roles, and skills. A person's personality is usually set at an early age in childhood. So, in George Herbert Mead, the social self, it conceptualized that the mind as the individual portion of the social process. The I is the individual impulses, the I is self-subjected, and the me is an object. So, in George Mead's theory, there are three stages, namely stage 1, the preparatory stage, second, the play stage, and lastly, the game stage. So, the preparatory stage, it lasts from the time we are born until we are about age 2. In this stage, children mimic those around them. So, example, most children at that age yun, usually kung unsa ang ato ang ginaistorya, mo lang po na ilahang ginaawat. Muna siya ang giingon ni George Mead. Then in the play stage, it's from about age 2 to 6. Children are in play stage. During the play stage, children play pretend and do not adhere to the rules in organized games like soccer or freeze tag. So most kani siya gid nga edad, dili gid tanan mga bata ani ga-follow gid sa mga rules sa kuan. Gadula lang pero walay rules sa ilaha, unlike sa the game stage or the last stage. So the third stage is the game stage, which is from about age 7 onwards. In this stage, children can begin to understand and adhere to the rules of the games. They can begin to play more formalized games because they begin to understand other people's perspective or the perspective of the generalized others. So in the game stage, Meds sees it as the mature stage because students adhere that they already know what are the rules. They follow the rules, the, they follow the rules of the games, and observe the rules. Now, what is mid and social self? So, in Mid's theory of the social self, it is based on the perspective that the self-image from social interactions such as observing and interacting with others, responding to others' opinions about oneself, and internalizing external options and internal feelings about oneself. There is also, while the Lindegaard's theory, which is the social-cultural theory, adhere that children acquire social knowledge, values, beliefs from the peer ones or from the knowledgeable others. So, kang Lindegaard's kipod ni theory about social interaction, it directly states na most of our characters, beliefs, values, we acquire it from our parents, which is the knowledgeable one. And lastly, Charles Cooley. So Charles Cooley on Self and Society, he is the proponent of the looking glass self, or it states that the person self grows out of society, interpersonal interaction, and the perception of others. People shape themselves based on what other people perceive and confirm other people's opinion themselves. It directly states na kung unsa man gali ang gakakita sa tawo sa atoa, maupod ang atoang gaka-perceive sa atoang kaugalingon. As for example, if someone sees us an ugly, so inhanap pud atoang makita ugly sa atoang pamati. So ga-depend ang according to Charles Cooley, ga-depend ang atong emotional kuan is ga-depend sa other people kung unsa ang gakakita nila sa atoa. So that's all for the module 2. Let's proceed to the module 3. So now let's proceed to the module 3. So the module 3 focuses on the 4 pillars of education, which are the learning to do, learning to know, learning to be, and learning to live together. So the 4 elements or pillars of education are proposed that are relevant to the modern world undergoing swift social and economic changes and swiftly evolving technology. So learning to know. Learning to know focuses on combining broad general knowledge and basic education, while learning to do gives emphasis on practical skills necessary for profession of trade. Learning to be, the underpinning principle of which involves development of the human potential to its fullest. Learning to live together, which is relevant in the current context of globalization. Every pillars of education aims to develop a holistic child. If these pillars are appropriately applied, these pillars will help the education system of our country. So what is the importance of 4 pillars in education? In sum, the purpose of 4 pillars at learning at the individual level is to ensure the continuous growth of a person. At the societal and global level, it educates the individual as part of its society and global village where they can develop social responsibility necessary in building better place. One of the perfect example for this is the K-12 system. The K-12 system covers from the kindergarten up to the senior high school. It gives the students the preparatory knowledge for its chosen field or the career, which is Very vital for for the students nowadays. Kaya ang uban jud students dili na sila mag-proceed to college, diretso na lang sila manarbaho. So, at least they can earn NCs that kuan pud makatabang siya for kuan sa ilaha kung gusto sila mag-abroad or mag-apply sila og trabaho. So, what does the pillar means? It believes that the meaning of our life rests on four pillars: belonging, purpose, storytelling, and transcendence. These four pillars have been referred by philosophers throughout the ages from Aristotle to Baumeister, and their relevance is increasingly supported by scientific evidence. Actually, Mom, I think the highlight of all of this module is the pencil parable. The pencil parable reminds us with the 5 days in life. Living in this world, we have to undergo a certain process that may dull or sharpen us. Just like a pencil, we can do such great things only if we allow ourselves to be open and humble for corrections. A pencil will experience sharpening like a person, will experience pain from time to time. That will make he or she appreciate the good and bad times. A pencil eraser can correct mistakes, and the person is also charged with responsibility of correcting their mistakes. Lastly, like a pencil, we have to do more and be more. We can be more and do more, but if only we are properly prepared to do so. We must be able to suffer pain and move forward again. In every process of in education, in every process of learning, we must not allow struggle and fear to discourage us. I am me, not perfect, but created by a perfect God that creates me with a purpose, just like a pencil. That's all. Thank you.